Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello and welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. We have been off and on, but we did give you the warning that this summer is going to be a little wonky.
Yeah, we're doing our best.
So this will be the only podcast for the week because we are off on Friday. Period.
Weren't y'all just off for the last 2 days? Yes. Yes. Hold on.
Yeah.
We're tired.
Yeah.
We're tired. And it's summer and we deserve a few days.
Yeah. But we have a lot to catch up on in a short amount of time because we got to talk about Holly's New York trip that we didn't have a chance to chat about.
Dang.
We got to talk about producer Kelbin, your surgery. I was just in St. Pete for Pride this past weekend.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to get through. So let's go all the way back to Holly. Congratulations on your Gracie Award.
Thank you.
You got to take your daughter Maya to New York to experience you getting an award and to experience New York. So like what happened on the trip?
Oh, a lot. I mean, it was a lot. So the Gracies themselves were just so it was so overwhelming and amazing to finally be there because I had been applying to win a Gracie for a very long time. And thank you, Miguel, and you, Kelbin, for helping put together like all this work. Miguel mostly to showcase me because I felt like I clearly was not good enough for this award, and as it turns out I was, so it was really a great boost for my self-esteem, honestly, and just such a cool experience to be there with all those amazing legends and icons. So that was really cool.
What was the most validating aspect of it? So just so you know, for context, like the Gracie Awards, it's like the Oscars for women in media.
Yes. And I mean, it spans like TV broadcasting, sports reporting, like any media aspect, podcasting, whatever. It's all of that.
So what was the most validating part about the whole experience?
I think, well, just realizing that I won an award was huge because it made me feel like I'm not out here just goofing off. Like I'm doing noteworthy content.
Qualitative, substantial.
Right.
All those good things.
Like it was just a little, not that should be like a sign that I'm doing a good job. But I guess for me, like getting rejected every year, it kind of felt like putting your putting your vulnerable content that you're most protective about out to be judged, and then hearing no, it made me feel like what I do, and this is on me, this is not on the Gracies, but what it did was it made me feel like the type of morning show personality that I am is okay, but it's not great. I'm not providing great content. I must not be that good at this job. So that's why I didn't want to apply anymore. Like I was just like, I can't do this anymore because I don't like feeling like I'm not good at this. And so by, earning this award, it was like, oh no, actually you are. So, and again, I shouldn't put it all on that because obviously it's subjective at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. But it was nice to get recognized for the work that I do.
I think that any sort of industry award, whether it's if you're a teacher or whatever it is, the industry you work in, I feel like there's always that sense of validation you get from winning some sort of industry award, just because you feel like you are validated by your peers. So like we've had rating success, and I could say, Holly, you and we've now been to well, 4 cities, but it's the same 2.
Right.
We were in Panama City twice, we were in Tampa twice.
Right.
So 4 cities, or 2 cities, but 4 different times. And there was one of those times where we failed. We just didn't do what we were supposed to do. We failed. We got let go.
Yeah.
So, but winning over your audience and like having ratings success, which comes, you get rewarded monetarily, is great. But there is nothing like your peers who know what you do and know what it takes and the sacrifice to say you're validated. So for me, that was sort of, I felt that when we won a few years ago at Morning Show Boot Camp for 50 Shades of Chicken.
Right.
Where every year, so we go to this morning show conference we've talked about before in August, and they have this panel called Battle of the Bits, where everyone gets up, you submit something that you've done that year, and everyone, like, you in your seat take all these notes, and you're like, cool. Like, that's how we got the Hum Game. That's how we got headphone karaoke back in the day. We've gotten all these bits from this conference. But my goal was never to win. It was always just to present and to get up in front of our peers and just to say, here's something we did. I don't want to win. I just want to say that I did it, and that's it.
Because Miguel, you always had a hard time standing up and actually delivering.
Right. Like, I have been at the Spectrum Center here. So if you're in Tampa, that's like me getting on stage at Amalie Arena and talking to a crowd of 15,000 people.
Right.
Don't even sweat. Don't get nervous. Don't even think twice about it. For some reason, getting up in front of a room of 50 people that do what we do, I literally shake every year. I am terrified.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like,
that makes sense.
Do something that makes you scared. That's when life begins. So when I got up to do 50 Shades of Chicken, I was like, this is going to be the dumbest thing. Everyone's going to be like, all right, bitch, you dumb ass, like, whatever. Get back to Tampa, you fucking idiot. I was like, but at least I got up and talked. And so when they were like, because literally I was packing up when they were saying the winners, and I was like, okay, I got some ideas. This is great. All right, see y'all later. They were like, Miguel and Holly, finish chicken. I was like, what? My dumbass pandemic idea? Like, absolutely not. So for me, that was validating. And like, because I feel like this is why I've only tried stand-up comedy once. I feel like my humor doesn't always hit, doesn't always land. And so that's why I'm like, I'm silly, but I'm not like funny. And so that's why I'm like, well, this is just going to fall on deaf ears, but I can just say I got up and did it. And so to me, that was validating that my creative mind is good among our peers.
Yes, it is. And it is. Like, I know this about you.
But I don't. I always feel like, well, this is
I
a
know.
dumb idea.
See, that's how it is for me too.
Right.
It's our own thing. Like, I could sit here and be like, you're a brilliant person with an amazing creative mind that comes up with new shit on the daily that's always good. And you'd be like,
it's always, and this sounds bad, but it's always better to kind of second guess yourself and then come up and be at the top and win that prize. Whereas there's people who are delusional.
Yes.
And they fucking flop.
Girl.
And it's like, I can't applaud that. Like, I can't applaud somebody being so delusional and then bad at the same time. Whereas somebody who's like shy and humble and like, no, I kind of suck. Oh, wait, no, I had this great idea and I won.
Right.
I applaud that way more.
Because we've seen those people get up and present where they're like, ha ha, this is going to win a Marconi Award, you dumbasses.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is that they do it. And then me sitting in the audience who's already insecure, I'm like, oh God, they must be better.
Right.
I don't know. It's a weird
paradox.
It's
a weird line, right? It's a weird line of like confidence.
Yes.
Humbleness.
Yes. It's
and
crazy.
Executing and delivering. It's hard.
100%. So I totally feel you on that feeling, Holly. And I'm so glad that you got to feel that.
It was amazing. It was a whirlwind trip as well. I even wrote down things that we did in New York. Day one, Rockefeller Center, saw the pride flags, FAO Schwartz, and the custom made slime. My daughter was
hell yeah,
so excited to go to this.
Sounds awesome.
And she's like, I've never been to a toy store. And I was like, oh no, hold on. There isn't any. There are no toy stores anymore. I'm sorry. There just isn't. And so I was like, well, here you are. Here's a toy store.
That's right. Because it's all just the toy section.
Amazon
at Target. Or Amazon. That's or Five Below. Maybe you could find something.
Wow.
Like, there are no toy stores.
That's so sad for this generation of kids. Because listen, the few times we did go to Toys R Us, it was like you can get one thing.
I know.
But that was the best
But
time.
still,
I know, but
yes.
you got to go. Like the whole store is for you. The
Yeah.
whole store.
Oh, that
you don't
just
even know
broke
what
my
to do with yourself.
heart for these kids. They will. Oh my God, that makes me so sad.
I know there just are not any, and so I
Hmm.
was like, oh yeah, I guess you're right, but like it is really right. So there was like they had it's actually thinking putty. You can make your own like tint it and add things to it, and they're like, do you want any mix-ins? And she's like, no. And I was like, and they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, are you sure? And she's like, no. And so then afterward I was like,
No
good for
texture.
you for holding firm on that boundary. She's like,
Hmm.
because then like you start playing with it a lot, and then like the mix-ins get kind of weird, and then they end up popping out, and I'm like, you're right, you good on you.
Mhm.
Say no. Anyway, so we did that. We did like a New York City merch. She called it a merch shop, like like just one of those gift stores that just sells a bunch of I Heart NY stuff.
Oh, right,
She's
right.
like, we have to go to the New York merch shop. So we did that.
my
Got
God.
her a little license plate with her name on it that was spelled correctly. We went to Magnolia Bakery for cupcakes. Should have gotten the pudding. Every person in my DMs, did you get the pudding? I'm like, no, I got the cupcakes. I got the that's what I thought we got there. No,
Ooh.
banana pudding and strawberry shortcake pudding. I didn't get the pudding because I'm a dummy. So that we went to pizza at Ray's Original. She took her cheese off. I was like,
How was the pizza though for you? Was it?
it was delicious. I got a whole bunch of stuff. It had broccoli on it too. I loved it. It was great. What?
Oh, I love that for you.
I don't.
It was so good.
I love that for you.
I love a veggie pizza.
For you. I love that.
I do.
Well, that's sort of like Abe's family. Like whenever I come, because like normally they'll get like mushrooms and onion. I don't like cooked onions on it.
Oh, I love mushroom and onion on a pizza.
Yeah, and so then like whenever I come to town, they're like, "Oh, here goes basic ass Miguel." So they got to just get pepperoni and sausage, and they're like, I mean, is there any vegetable? And I'm like, can we put the onions and banana peppers on after the fact?
No, they get sweet when you cook them.
Leave it at
Delicious.
pepperoni too. I mean, that's sausage for me.
I don't
Even
like
chicken and bacon is
pepperoni.
really good on pizza.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Wait, so
I
how?
don't
What
want
all
big
vegetables?
old chunks of meat. on
I
my
love
pizza.
that.
hell yeah.
Wait, so what all did you get on? What all veggies did you get on the pizza?
I don't even know. It was one of those you just get a slice on the pre-made.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Okay.
I think it was maybe like mushrooms, onions, black olives. There was broccoli. There was maybe some banana peppers too. I don't know. It was a bunch of veggies. And I thought it was so interesting that it was broccoli, and it was like just done so well. Now, the crust was not the best. And I'm like, it's whatever.
Right.
And even my fiance was like, why didn't you just get good old cheese? And I'm like, I wanted this.
A little pizza salad.
Y'all shut up. Let me eat what I fucking want.
Yeah, get your little pizza salad.
I had a pizza salad. It was delicious. So we did that. And this is funny. So we had flown in. We got in at about like 2:00, and we were going to see 6 on Broadway. This Broadway show 6 that evening. So this is all just as we're walking to get to where we need to go. It was about a mile. We do the Rockefeller Center. We did the FAO Schwartz. We're now at the pizza place. Then we went to the M&M's store, which is like this 3-story building. And you can do like personalized custom M&Ms, which I was not planning on doing, but you can't not now. We're in the building.
You're in that.
She's like, I saw a YouTuber do this. We have to do it. I'm like, oh, well, because the YouTuber did
No,
it.
here we go.
Now we have to. We did. It didn't take that long, but I was still like, okay, we need to be on the road here. So what we did was we got her little custom made M&Ms, and then we went to the bathroom and changed like we were Superman, because we had street clothes on, and then I had a bag with like our fancy dresses for Broadway and our heels and everything.
Yes.
And then we walked out as totally different people and went to Broadway, like the theater. And it was awesome. I got there like an hour in advance because I wanted to be able to buy some merch, and I wanted to get myself a cocktail. They don't even open the doors until 30 minutes before.
Oh,
so
just
now
sitting there.
we're standing outside in our dresses, and I'm like, oh,
Wilted.
God. Yes, wilted. It's hot. And then when we went in, it was so tiny in there. we ran like bumped into like the merch table and they're
Oh.
like, what do you want? And I'm like, we haven't ever heard this musical. I'm like, I don't know.
You've never heard it?
Like it? No, we've never heard it.
I had told you about it, but I don't know if you ever like researched or looked into it.
I did not. It's great, by the way. But yeah, so we didn't know, but I'm like, let's assume we love it and buy accordingly. So she got a water bottle and like a little keychain, and I got a Christmas tree ornament because when I go to new cities, I buy Christmas tree ornaments. And so I bought a 6 Christmas tree ornament, and then we sat down, and I was like, I'm not getting up. I don't even know where the cocktails are in this place. I'm not moving. Just sit down. And we watched 6, and it was great. There were some very inappropriate parts. They said the C word.
Oh!
I mean, it was sung, and it was like the C word into something else. But I was like, okay, it's fine. She doesn't know what's happening.
Aren't the songs so catchy though?
So catchy.
No.
I love
no
it.
way.
I just love it. And it was so good.
Mine's about to go to middle school next year, so she about to hear it all.
I know. Well,
and she hadn't already.
No, I know. So it's the kids. I mean, she's in the same school. It's just that the kids are, I'm sure they're going to come back with some words. But yeah, so that was great. And so after that, we went around, we walked because she wanted to see Times Square at night. And it's cool. I didn't realize that they keep the ball, like the ball drop. It's there year round. I had no idea. I'm like, oh my God, there's how we watch on the TV at night, the ball at the New Year's Eve. It's there. There it is. It says 2024. And she's like, it was a little disappointing, to be honest, because I thought it would be brighter. I'm like, but I was like, we thought it was daytime while we were in a store.
Right.
We thought it was daytime.
It's like the brightest.
I know. I don't know what she thought it was gonna be, but maybe it just wasn't what she thought in her mind. I don't know, but she was impressed with it. So we did all that. Day 2, we did the Gracies, which was wonderful. Very expensive and terrible hotel breakfast. Like shame on you, honestly. Like Weston, come on. It was $35 for me, $20 for her, and it was not good.
Why
Like
don't you get a bagel?
I wanted to, but like I got nervous because we had to be at the event at 11, and
That's
like
a lot.
I had to get ready, and so I'm just like, we'll just eat downstairs at the hotel. Worst mistake ever. It's terrible breakfast.
That's okay.
Shame on you.
I know. I always feel like a New York trip needs to be like when you don't have any sort of like plans like that, where it's just there to enjoy and take it in.
Kind of let it go, take it as it would.
Right.
Because
it's so hard.
A lot of plans actually. So we did that, and then that night we went to this restaurant called Serafina to meet one of my good friends from college. And so because she lives in New York City, and so we ran and met. Except I went to the wrong one first.
Oh no.
And then we had to quickly Uber to the right one. It was like a whole thing, but that
I was going to ask you,
great.
did you do any Subways or did you just do Ubers?
I did not do a Subway. Not with my child. If I was alone, I probably would have done it.
Yeah.
But like, I just was too nervous of not knowing exactly what the hell I was doing.
Yeah, you never know.
And looking like an idiot trying to get my Subway card and everything. Like that's too much for me. So I was just like, no, we only Ubered twice. Because we had to. Right. But other than that, we walked.
Yeah, when I was there last May to visit my brother and sister-in-law, they were like, hey, we're not saying we're not going to make fun if you don't, but like if you want to take the subway to meet us, we can show you how. And I was like, no, absolutely not. Nope, I'm not going to try. I'm like, if Abe and I go together to visit them, if I have him, because even though he's from upstate New York, he's only been to New York City like twice. Yeah. And so for him, but I feel like if I'm with him, we can navigate it together.
Yes.
But I don't want to do it by myself.
I need another adult, or I could probably do it by myself. But like as a parent, also in charge of a child, I was like, I don't want to do that and end up in the wrong spot or anything like that. And I always have to be calm, cool, collected, and know what we're doing. Right. Because if I don't, she will panic. And there's no reason for her to panic. But I have to act like I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing at all times, even though I don't. Surprise. So that was good. I mean, we met for dinner. And then the next day I forgot to we went to FAO Schwartz. all 3 days.
Oh,
Every single day we went and we got something new, but she loved it. And so we also went to the very top of Rockefeller Center.
ooh.
It's called, there's an experience called Top of the Rock. And so you can go up there and the view is spectacular. And there's a little ride where you can get on this beam. I don't know if you've ever seen that old timey photo of like
Yes.
a black and white photo of men eating their lunch out of lunch boxes on this beam out of like up there.
Mhm.
So you can kind of recreate that. So we did. And I'm gonna have to pay $40 and get the damn picture because it's too cute.
It's a memory.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So we did that. We took a lot of great pictures and only had like 1 or 2 little fights, little scuffles. But other than that, it was the whole trip was wonderful. And I think she really, really enjoyed coming with me. And I'm so glad she could.
That is
So.
a core memory. That is one of those little the Inside Out 2, the little yellow orbs.
Yes. She will
my
always
God.
remember that.
I think so too. And we'll have to go back at some point, but you never forget that first trip, really.
Never.
So that's going to be awesome. And we did see Inside Out 2 as well. So if we ever get to that point in the podcast, we want to discuss that.
Now,
Anyway.
Kelbin, you have been out. That's why, to be honest, that's why we didn't have a podcast last week, because there was so much stuff we had to do. And then after the fact, and I was like, y'all, normally we will push through it and make it at least a 15-minute podcast. But there was like no time last week. It was so insane.
Yeah.
So I do apologize. We didn't get to that. But you had your surgery. How are you feeling about it? I know we talked a little bit about it on the show today, but how are you feeling? Any regrets? What's the pain level? What happened going into it?
Yeah. I'll start off the night before. Well, 3 weeks before, actually. I've been counting down for the surgery. Like, I've been so excited for it. And, you know, my birthday was just a few days after. And for the first time in my life, I was not even caring. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do anything on my birthday either way. But normally I would just focus on my birthday. And it's always like a lineup. Like, we're going to do Friday this, Saturday this, Sunday. I've just been so focused on the surgery. The night before the surgery, though, it's finally here. I've been waiting for this for such a long time.
And then just let's reset what the surgery is, just in case someone is new to the podcast.
Gynecomastia surgery. I've had this since I was about 16, 17. I developed breast tissue due to some hormone imbalances. It's pretty normal, actually, in men. Don't quote me on this, but maybe about 60% of men have this condition.
Man boobs.
And some guys do get it from, you know, eating a lot and building up fat in there. Yes, it is possible. But other guys also get the gland, which is what I had. And on top of that, fat, because, you know, I eat. So
she got that big back.
Yes, girl. Come on, bigger back. And so I finally made the decision to do this. You know, I remember going to consultations when I was in high school, just because I was like, how much is this? How can I get rid of this? And finally, with certain financial situations that have happened, thankfully, I was like, you know what? I'm going to fucking do it. This is my shot at doing it. So I go in and let me tell you, the night before, I have my last meal, because you can't eat after midnight. I have my last meal at Viva Chicken. And for some odd reason, I start getting anxious, because I knew that was like my last meal until surgery. And then I started to reading my instructions and what I needed to do. And I finally get home. I want to sleep somewhat early because my surgery was at 6:30 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I have my meal. I get back home. I start getting the sniffles.
Oh.
And mind you, I haven't drank alcohol within the last week or 2 weeks, a week and a half before the surgery. So it's not like my immunity like was down or anything like that. I did go party a little bit for my birthday and did a few like physical activities as well with a few friends. And it wasn't like I caught something, you know, I don't know where it came from, but I started getting sniffles. I started being really stuffy, sneezing, coughing the night before. And I start Googling and I'm like, should I continue with this surgery if I'm feeling this way? Some sites were like, you probably shouldn't.
And this is why you should not be on WebMD.
Well, yes. But fuck that. I was like, nope, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm doing it.
Happening.
So I go in. Thankfully, we had my fiance Oscar came, and then so did my friend Shay. He just came along to keep Oscar company, which was nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, we go in, I sign in, getting my stuff ready. waited a few minutes, did a few paperwork stuff, and then finally they were like, all right, are you ready to go back? Get ready. And I was like, okay, let's go. I say goodbye. I brought my CPAP with me because in the instructions, if you have sleep apnea, they're like, bring it with you. And I'm like, why? Whatever. I go in, I go to the back, they give me my scrubs. I didn't know how to put it on because I've never put it on before. I don't know if I was supposed to tie it. Like, what's the point of me tying it if you're gonna do my chest? The anesthesiologist comes in. He asked me a few questions. Doctor comes in and he's like, hey, do you have any questions for me? And I was like, Doc, I don't want to be disrespectful, but like, make me as flat as possible. As flat as possible. I just want to remind you, I wanted to remind him what kind of surgery I wanted him to do, which, you know, it's crazy to me that we just have one consultation. I feel like I should have maybe another call right before.
Right.
But he's like, no, this is something that I've done, you know, quite routinely. And I was like, no, I'm not trying to disrespect you. Like, I know you do this, but I just wanted to make sure we're not doing the under. Because, you know, when there's gender affirming care for people who are transitioning, they get the scar under, right? A lot of female to male people who are transitioning, they get the scar under their boob, and it's a big scar that does not go away.
That's what, and I'm always like, is there not a better way to do this?
For women transitioning to men, no.
Man.
No, unfortunately. So they do get that scar, and some people, you know, they can lose their nipples with that surgery. Sometimes they stitch them back. It's more expensive. It's less expensive actually if you keep them off. And then some people tattoo them. You know, double vasectomies as well. So I just reminded him. I was like, "We're not doing that one, right?" And he's like, "No, we're not doing that one."
Like, no, I got it. Here.
Yes,
I've read them.
So he did that. I have the video of him like doing the markers and stuff like that. And finally, they put in this thing in my, I guess what is this? The
IV.
The
right?
IV. Yes, the IV. Miss Girl could not find it the first time. And I was like,
no.
bitch.
I hate it when they can't. They can never find it for me. I even go in, I say, I have a little preamble every time. I'm like, I have very small, thin veins. It's going to be difficult to find.
Right.
Maybe a kid needle might even be better. And then some people are like, oh, thanks for the heads up. And some people are like, I got this. And anyone who told you that you need to say that is terrible at this. And then they do it in 2 seconds. Or the people that are like, oh, no, it's fine. And they're like,
Well,
I was like, bitch. I've never had that issue before. Normally they find it here on my like elbow area, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Opposite side of the elbow. Anyways, so then she goes, she puts it in finally. Anesthesiologist comes in. I tell him I have sleep apnea. He's like, it's fine. And I was like, okay. Because my thought was like, if they can't wake me up, what the fuck what's gonna happen? And I talked to my friend who's a medical student. He's like, well, it's not like they're gonna just let you die. Like they're not just gonna be like, oh well, can't wake him up. He's not breathing. So what can we do?
Can't wake him up, aka he's dead.
Right. I don't know why, but I was like, but what are they gonna do? And do they even know how to put it on? Nobody's asked me how to put it on. My friend was like, they're not gonna just lay you there and let you die.
you're like, this is also what they do for a living. So like they know.
Correct. Correct. So we go in and finally I was signing my life away. There's some forms that you have to sign.
Yeah.
And finally they moved me onto the back. I'm did all the drawings on my body. I'm walking and there's this thin ass bed for this surgery. A really thin bed. And I'm like, you think my big ass is going to fit on that? But I didn't say anything. At that point, that's when I start getting really nervous. I'm looking up. It's kind of like a cross almost in the bed. It's like really thin. I can't move my arms that much. But you lay out on your back. And they're like, oh, take off your little patient robe thing, whatever it's called. And just lay down. And I'm like, okay. So then they're setting me up. They're like moving my legs. And they were like, are you excited? And I was like, no, I'm not. Like that was the moment where I was not. I see the big lights. They're not on, but you know, they're the big circular lights.
Yeah.
And then he's like, the anesthesiologist is right behind me setting me up. And he's like, oh, don't worry. You're not going to feel a thing.
Yeah, they put that shit on and you go out.
I was like, what the fuck? You're not even going to give me a countdown? Nothing. I don't even remember them putting anything on.
Oh, that's the best feeling.
Yeah. Is it?
Yes, girl. You just go to sleep. You're done.
Nothing. I couldn't even say bye. I couldn't say my last wishes. Nothing.
I don't think it's good that you think that that's so good.
What are your last thoughts? I'm out.
That's it. That was it. I wake up and I see my hands and I'm like, what the fuck? And immediately the first thing was like, this isn't my this isn't my compression vest. This isn't what I was wearing. What's going on? And you're just clouded.
Right.
You're clouded. I see this nurse. She's right there. And she's like, how's your pain? She's like, 1 through 10. And I was like, 8.
Ooh.
And she was like, okay. She was like, we'll put in some more in you. Some more. I think morphine is what she put in. I was like, okay. Doctor comes back and he's like, how are you feeling? And I was like, rough. And he was like, well, it was a really great surgery. I was like, did you get pictures and videos? Did you get it? Did you get, because I want to see what was in me. Did you get the surgery? He was like, yeah. And he showed me a bit of it, and I don't remember much, but he showed me a little video of it, and I looked flat as fuck.
He took a video on his phone?
Yeah, and I told him to. I told him he was allowed to.
I know, but I always wanted people to do stuff. I wanted to see my gallbladder when they took it out, and they were like, that's crazy. I'm like, no fucking for real. I want to see it.
Same.
They didn't do it.
Same.
Kidding.
I wanted to see it because I wanted to see the gland and the fat that was taken out, and he didn't show me that. He just showed me laid out.
Show you shit. I'm like, it is my body. Thank you very much. I grew that shit myself.
I wanted to curse like the fatty tissue and like the gland itself. I wanted to like fuck it off, but he didn't show me, and I was like, fuck. And I should have made it more vocal maybe before, but that's not what you're thinking.
I think that they don't believe people are being serious, but I'm like, I'm dead fucking serious.
It's all over TikTok or like YouTube when I've researched the fuck out of this surgery and see how like it goes. So I wanted to see it. Sometimes the doctors will place it right on top just to show you like,
how much it was inside
what's
you.
taken out. So no, he didn't do that, but I was like, fine, whatever. It's fine.
It's fine.
So then finally,
what are you gonna do? It's fucking fine.
Right. So the nurse comes back and she was like, how are you feeling now? Like 1 through 10. I'm like 6. And she was like, well, time for you to go. I was like, okay. Yeah. So at that point, I'm walking to the car. Everything is a little bit painful, not too bad. I think the morphine was still in me and it was helping. Get back home, and then that's it. I was in that bed for a really long time, barely getting up. And fast forward, like my fiance Oscar just took care of me so well. Like made me 3 meals a day, was there for me, gave me my medication, took care of everything with Jimbo. Our friends came by too to just say hey. And that was pretty much my life for a couple of days. And then it was my birthday and I was able to get up ish. And so we had some friends come over, we ordered pizza. And I didn't tell you guys this, but I had drains in me by my armpit. Fucking uncomfortable. And it wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it was annoying. It was uncomfortable. It's like something prodding at you by your armpit.
Yeah.
And every time I would get up, like thankfully, I am a big believer in getting an adjustable baseboard. Especially if you're getting older and you get sick and you have surgeries. Are you talking about an
adjustable base for your bed?
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Super important. Just the way that you're placed. If you are snoring, it's a really great thing for you to have your head held high up. And just me being sick. And even when Oscar, my fiance, had that appendicitis surgery, the bed was a huge relief for us as well. So that's a tidbit that I got from that. It helped me get out of bed. Whereas like I can't grab onto Oscar's arm for him to lift me up.
Right.
So we were able to, use the bed in that case. And that was it. I everything else, a few days after, maybe a few days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, I was able to get my drains out. And that's been a relief. A few of the stickers, the surgical sticker, not stickers, maybe they're called stickers, I'm not sure. Above the nipple were taken off. I'm gonna go next week to remove a few of them as well from under the nipple, where they made the incision. And right now I just feel just a little uncomfort when I'm walking. I still don't walk normal. I'm a little stiff. Reaching things is hard. But I was able to shower myself yesterday, which was lovely.
I love that.
And that's it. I'm so excited. I don't think it's not that I'm not excited about this surgery. I'm not reaping the benefits right now. I'm wearing this compression vest for the next 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And I went for the first time out, like to go to TJ Maxx to just get some shampoo. And it was fucking hot outside. And I'm hearing there's record heat outside.
Yeah.
I know. I was kind of like, you did this in the summer.
For sure.
That's a little rough just for your recovery because it's hot.
I'm already hot without a compression vest.
Oh,
right.
So, and then it's just sitting on. So I'm assuming Oscar had did he drive you to work this morning or did you drive yourself?
I drove myself.
How was that?
First time. I thought, I'm gonna drive a little bit more careful now, whatever. No, I still was just driving like a fucking savage.
Like you're fucking Miami,
yes.
fucking What is that video game that's based in
Grand
Miami?
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Audio. Yes, that's you, bitch.
Auto,
Just
yes.
driving through the streets of Charlotte like you in Miami.
Yes.
Yeah, so I should worry about that. It's just like a few like bumps and stuff. It'll hurt a bit.
Yeah.
Walking hurts a bit. Like if it was up to me, I would walk hunched and with my arms up.
And I'm like,
I would
"Don't do
walk
that."
like this.
I'm like, don't do that. You got to try to straighten up.
Ugh,
You
but
gotta
just
try to
straightening
straighten
up
Put your
hurts.
chest out.
Hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts.
Uh-huh.
But I'm getting stronger every day, and that feels amazing.
Yeah.
And like I said, in 5 weeks, I will totally be so excited to see these results.
Yeah.
Have y'all were able to
No.
Okay.
But I
No.
wanted to,
What?
bitch. I wanted to.
I knew it.
Every
I knew you
single day.
nasty bitch. You're
Every
like,
single day.
yeah, let's
Especially
get
for
it.
my birthday, good. Like,
Oh,
I wanted it. I wanted it.
Yeah.
And Oscar was like,
Um,
you need to fucking relax.
Yeah.
The doctor was like, give it at least 10 days. Like, you don't want.
Look at that. You can't be doing all that.
I
now.
know.
No.
He said
Mm-mm.
nothing with the chest, penetrative that would, make the
Right.
chest
Oh,
do some
goodness.
the stuff.
Be
And I'm
moving.
not supposed to heavy lift.
Oh,
No.
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Right. I mean, but can things be done to you?
I asked, and he was like, give it a few days. Like, give it a few
He's like,
days.
can we all just chill out?
Yeah. We don't want the chest to bleed too much.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
You better sit
Just-
your fast tail down and
That part. Oscar was
Wow.
not having it. I was like, give me a little something, a little,
no, nothing.
my licking. But yeah, no, I couldn't, but the libido is still there.
Oh, good. Well, we're so
Good.
glad that you're feeling better
Yes.
Yeah.
and slowly recovering. We can't wait to
Yes.
see the reveal of your chest.
Mhm.
Yes, girl, I'm ready.
Exactly.
August 1st, we're gonna be like, ha, here come my titties.
Tits out, pool parties, all of
Yes,
it,
honey.
bitch.
Oh, I love it.
Yep.
Well, this past weekend, I was in the Tampa Bay area for St. Pete Pride.
Tampa Bay.
My God, just getting out of here Friday was it was a lot. By the time I got to the airport, I just was like, ugh. But then like I still had more stuff to do at the airport for the show. And so then when I got to town, it was like a hurry up, go get dressed. I just really realized that like the Tampa Bay area feels so much more home than Atlanta does, just because I didn't live in Atlanta as an adult.
No, and that's how I feel about Cleveland too. I
Yeah.
didn't live there. I left there at 18. That's my
Right.
childhood.
Right. And so it's like literally as soon as I got into the TPA, the airport, like 2 people recognized me. And I was like,
and you see that flamingo?
yeah,
What's her name?
Phoebe.
Phoebe.
And I was like, hey,
flamingo.
girl, the flamingo there. And then my friends picked me up. And I got to see the progress for Howard Franklin Bridge as they're
wild.
redoing that. Hadn't seen it since the holidays. And then we went to, there's this sort of like gay clothing store on Central in St. Pete called Atlas that I've only been to like a couple of times. And I walk in and like the owners are like, Miguel, welcome back to town. I was like, it feels
Where
like
everybody
cheers.
knows
Yeah.
your name. That's you.
It was so cool. So got to like meet up with some people. Then we did St. Pete Pride. They do this big Friday night concert. And the big headliner was Sasha Colby, the last year winner for RuPaul's Drag Race. And so Janice Live for the Charlotte peeps, it's this outdoor venue, but it's like downtown. And so it was hot because it's St. Pete and
It's
it's humid.
humid.
Is that the same place we walked up to last year in that big open area by kind of like the water?
No,
Okay.
because they didn't have anything there last year. But we did like probably walk past it when we went to Goodnight John Boy or whatever that place is called.
Fucking love that place.
But I think there was some drama with Sasha Colby.
Ooh.
Because they had all these amazing local performers. There was like one drag queen that did with like backup dancers, Good Morning Baltimore.
I saw that on your story and I was like, oh, that's good. I
Yes,
love
yes.
a good little musical number.
It was so good, but you could tell because I think Sasha Colby was supposed to go on at like 8 or 8:30, but it was like 9:15, and she
Oh.
came out and she did 2 songs and then left.
Oh,
And we
And
were
how
like,
much did they pay her?
all I know is that when we worked for our previous station in Tampa and we used to help Pride secure talent, I know how much we would what the cost was and like what the budget was. And so I don't know if it was anywhere near that, but I know it's supposed to be more than 2 songs.
Right. If you're the headliner.
So that's why everybody, so like literally Sasha Colby did 2 Beyonce songs. And so we thought when she walked off stage, like, or when she was like ending the song, and we were like, all right, she's going to go change, and or there's going to be some like dancers come out. And she did the bye. And everyone was like, what? We have been here since 6:00 and we just get 2 songs. So I'm just like, I don't know anybody on the board anymore. So I just want to be like, what was the drama? What happened?
Something happened.
But then after that, we and then also too, with us, Abe and I not living in Tampa Bay for 2 years now, like all of our friends have new friends. So it's like meeting all these new people because our friends got a suite for the concert. And so we were in this little enclosed space where we could like catch up with people. So there was a bunch of new people that I didn't know. So there were a couple times where I just got kind of like, hi, like we're the old friends that you've probably like heard about. And they're like, hey guys, we don't know you. And they're like, oh, they've told us about you guys. And so nice to meet you all. So then we went to some people's apartment. And this was weird because it's one of the newer buildings in St. Pete. And it's this huge, I think they were on like the 15th or 20th floor or something in this huge skyrise apartment. And on their balcony, you could see all of St. Pete. And I'm like, this city has just totally changed.
It's exploding. I'm telling you, it is shit's popping off. My house's value has gone up. Like it's crazy what's going on in St. Pete.
It is insane. I mean, because Holly and I, our first experience with the Tampa Bay area was in 2011. Yeah. And so since then, it has just completely changed. So it was really cool to like meet all their new friends and like to catch up with, or meet new people and connect with them. And then we went out to Cocktail, the big gay bar that's there. Yeah. And it was just packed full of people. And it was really, really cool. And I literally had like a script in my head because when I would see people, it was like, oh my God, you're in Atlanta,
where are you
North Carolina,
South Carolina.
I'm like, Charlotte,
North Carolina. Well, people don't know where Charlotte is. They don't know.
Charlotte,
North Carolina. Yeah.
I feel like that's how I felt whenever people be like, what's in Tampa? Like, where is Tampa? Is it near Miami?
I know.
And I'm like, no, bitch.
God. Did you geographical research?
Did you end up crying this trip? Walking through these streets as someone offered you Jello shots?
I know, right? So that happened last year at Pride where there was just so many people, old listeners that were like, oh my God, it's so nice to see you. And by this point in the day last year, I was like wasted. And so I was like, oh my God, all these people. I did not cry this time because of Ozempic. I never was like wasted. I was never drunk.
Oh.
I was like tipsy, but like I was drinking so slowly that I never got to that like point where like my emotions are just gonna like fall out of me. But there were a couple of moments where it was just like, and I think probably one of the most emotional moments for me was Saturday during Pride, where we were at Cocktail because we never made it to the parade. Because my friend Greg has this like pre-Pride party, and by the time we got home to change and then to go out, I was like, girl, it's too hot. And then also after hosting the parade for 3 or 4 years we did it, Holly?
Yes, we did.
I've seen all the floats.
I'm good.
Parades are parades.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
unless you're walking in it.
Right. Unless you're walking in it or we're hosting it, but like I don't want to fight people.
Sometimes I don't. Yeah.
It's hot.
No, it's hot.
Right. I got it.
Yeah.
So there were some people that I used to hang out with when we first moved to Tampa in 2011 who I haven't seen probably since the pandemic. I would just see them out in passing because when we moved back in 2015, I just didn't get back into their group. And so it was really cool connecting with them because they were like, we remember when you were like fresh off the boat from Panama City in 2011 and you would come to Ybor with us and like, this was before Uber. And they were like, you were on that station. We don't even know what it's called anymore.
It was such
and I was like,
stupid fucking station too.
It was. Oh my God.
Say it now, but Jesus Lord, it was the worst.
Play 98.7, today's hits without the rap. That's such a like early to mid 2000s like
And it was just so because they would also have
Out
like
the rats.
Katy Perry, E.T. minus Kanye West, which is like
And then me, a black man on the radio station.
that.
I'll never forget when the H&M at International Mall in Tampa opened up, and we went there because all the news cameras were there. So we were like, let's try to get our logo on TV.
Oh my God. Yes, I forgot about that.
And we were like handing out like Play 98.7 tchotchkes to people standing in line. I remember these two black girls, they were like, oh, what do you got? And then like somebody had the sign that said, Play 98.7, today's best hits without the rap. The black girls were like, and you work there? How the hell they gonna hire you? I don't want none of this shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get a paycheck, girl.
Right. We're just trying to work our way up in the radio world.
No, I'm part of the
Please.
problem. I'm sorry. I know.
They paid us a little bit more money to come here.
Yeah. I was like, but at least know that we never say it during our show.
No, we didn't.
Remember, Bob Newman said we don't have to say today's best hits without the rap, because that's
And we didn't.
where I did put my foot down, as I was like, those words are not coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, that was awkward. No.
So that was like, I was like, what about that? And they were like,
they're like, not enough.
because black girls like that, they don't play. They were like, I guess.
Yeah, it was the whole thing.
But they
There
were
were some
talking.
great people though that we worked with. But,
Absolutely. The staff was great, but it was just
Usually
the
that-
station itself.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
But it was cool to catch up with them, because they were like, it was so cool to see your journey, because then we know that you left to go back to Panama City, and then you came back on Hot 101.5, and then seeing your rise, you and Holly's rise. And it was just cool to sort of follow you along that. So that was a little emotional, because those people, and then we were talking about like Ybor back in the day and how it's changing. And then that's when it really hit me that like Tampa Bay will always be that city for me, where like, that thing happened at Bradley's in Ybor on 7th, or when I hosted, drag bingo at Hamburger Mary's that's no longer there. Like I can account for all those places that used to be there. And we were like, well, remember when it was the Honey Pot back in the day?
Oh, the Honey Pot.
The Honey Pot.
What is it now?
Nothing, probably.
Oh God, they just closed up the Honey
Probably.
Pot.
I'm not 100% sure.
Not the Honey Pot.
And that's when somebody will be like, sure, grandma.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Because then
Sit
like the
down.
younger guys are like, the fuck are you talking about?
I know.
So that was really cool. But yeah, we never made it to the parade. And then Sunday, after just being out all night, we were like, Abe wanted to go. I knew he wanted to go to the fucking festival, but I was like, I just want to go to our friend's pool, Chris and Rob, and just hang out. I'm tired. I'm socialed out.
Yeah.
And so we just went to my my memorial spot, because
And
they
then-
have this.
Hot tub.
Yeah, in their hot tub, they have a spot for me with a plaque that says like this spot reserved for Miguel. And I was like, look at that. So we just hung out there all day. So it was great. And then I got to have breakfast with Holly.
Yes.
It was super nice. Got to
Which
see
I'm
Holly.
glad. I'm sorry we're running a little bit late. I hate being late, but like, I don't know. I have been drinking this weekend.
Yeah,
So-
right.
So when the alarm went off, thank goodness my fiance set an alarm. So the alarm goes off at 7:45, and I had thought, like, I don't know. I woke up and I'm like, hey, I was like, turn it off. It's probably Maya's alarm from like school. He's like, no, it's the alarm to go meet Miguel and Abe for breakfast. And I was like, oh my God. Oh God. And so everything probably would have been fine, but like, he's very slow moving in the morning. My fiance is very slow moving from a combination of things, and he also is in charge of taking out Teddy, so the dog. So all together we were late for about like 10 or 15 minutes, so I apologize about that, but it was really good to just kind of hang out.
Yes. And not like have a bunch of people, and because usually like we throw some sort of pride party, but because our house is being rented, we didn't do anything. We just went to other people's places. But it was really cool. And then we got to catch up with the owners of Cocktail, the bar, Monday night. So that was really cool. So it was just a really cool reminiscing trip, and just sort of being like, and then everybody was like, so do you see yourself back here? Do you? And I'm like, to be honest, like, would I ever move back? Absolutely, in a heartbeat. But at the same time, like, I really do love Charlotte. Now Abe is like, I'd move back tomorrow if I could.
Take me back, he
And
said.
I'm like, that bitch loves Charlotte too. But it's like, So I'm kind of conflicted. Like I love both places. In the perfect world, if I could just, spend some months in Tampa Bay and then spend some months in Charlotte, I'd absolutely love it.
That would be delightful. Wouldn't that be so great to be able to do it that way?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Just
That'd
to
be so nice.
keep track of everybody and to see what's going on. So
I know, and it is beautiful. I love Charlotte too. It's tough that I'm not able to be in Charlotte more often to get to know it more. But every time I'm there, it's always such a great time.
yeah.
But obviously too, I love Tampa Bay. I love St. Pete where I live. It's a beautiful city, and I'm so glad that I'm very lucky that I was able to get to stay here, but also extenuating life circumstances. It was like I had to. It's not like I was like, I don't really want to. Like I was like, bitches, listen, I cannot.
Right.
So it ended up working out, thankfully for me. But yeah, we miss you. Tampa Bay misses Miguel.
And I think Emma got it right. Look at Miguel trying to be a snowbird.
Yes.
Absolutely. Trust. Wait a couple years. Mm-hmm. And if when we get, not if, but when our ratings get to a good point to where no one will blink an eye and I can go back to Tampa for January, February.
Bitches out. Bye as fuck.
I'll be like, Kelbin, you got to come run the show in here. I'll be doing the show from Tampa with Holly for a couple months. To be honest, that's the dream. That's what I hope.
100%.
I want to be able to do that for just January and February. I'd be good.
Yeah.
Just because it's so just drab here.
You're almost there. I mean, you technically kind of could. You would just have to live in the apartment in the back of your house.
Well, we're not financially there. No, we're not financially.
You're almost.
Yeah. Now that them taxes went up this year. So we need all the money we can get.
Gotcha.
So we're not technically there. But no, it was a fantastic time. I'm real quick before we go, I have to talk about the food I had.
Oh,
damn. It's a whole other podcast.
I know, right? I had Wawa. I was so excited to have
What'd
Wawa.
you get at Wawa?
You love your Wawa. Buffalo mac and cheese.
I did.
Did you?
But hold on, let me tell you. So Friday night when we got there and it had been all day because I had been up, doing the morning show, traveling, the concert, going out to cocktail. So when we got back to the apartment around 2:30, I ordered Wawa and then I fucking fell asleep. And so
of course, you always do that though.
My God. And then I was pissed because they delivered it to the front of the main house where someone is renting it. And we were in the apartment in the alleyway.
Yeah.
And so it had been out all night. So I couldn't even salvage anything. So so the tenants messaged Abe and they were like, did someone named Miguel order Wawa? And I was like, I should throw it away. But then I got it Saturday. It was so good.
Big bag.
Yeah, girl. It was a
Big
good
bag
time.
Buick.
Yeah, honey. She a convertible. Then I had Trips Diner, which was amazing.
Yes.
And then I got to have this is the weird one. I really wanted Tijuana Flats. And so I got my Tijuana Flats Monday.
You know they're closing places left and right because Tijuana Flats are going bankrupt.
Really?
Yeah, but they're not closing all of them, but they've been closing down some of them.
Oh, it was really
so it's good that you got it.
Well, we don't live there, so I can say this. Having it, I'm glad I had it. And if that was the last time, I'd be totally fine.
I'm okay. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. It's just there. I found out yesterday, this is just total St. Pete insider, so I'm sorry, I apologize about that, but I never get to talk about my own damn town. So listen, they are opening a Green Lemon in St. Pete.
Ooh.
Right by. Well, actually, it's not.
It's
not anywhere nearby my house. That's certainly.
Well, it's going to be on 4th Street. 4th Street's very long.
It's very long.
Right.
It's very long. So.
Holly said, I live at
right by
425.
Here's my address. Here's my social security number.
Oh, shit. I got to go.
Oh,
sorry.
I do too, and I'm very nervous.
I got to be somewhere at 11:30 Central Street. Okay.
Oh.
Bye.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.